If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that this very hive about 2 weeks ago swarmed, and I was home when they swarmed, and I captured them and I put them in a new hive. Well, 7 days after that, they swarmed a second time, and if I hadn't been there to see it with my very own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Swarming once, yeah, I understand that, but swarming twice, that seems a little unusual for me. I've got to get inside this hive and see what is going on. So I'm taking off the top, and the first thing I'm going to look at is the super, which I don't expect there to be anything in there because they've swarmed. There's not enough bees in there to make honey for it, but they still need the space. But I'm checking out these hive beetle traps, and they look good. I've had some problem with hive beetles before. I didn't see any now. So I'm like, let me put the super out of the way and check these frames and see what's going on here. And I pull out the first frame, and I'm like not expecting to see much on it because this is the one that I had replaced. When I started the second hive, I gave them a frame from here that had honey on it, so they'd have some honey in their new box. So I'm okay with that. Second one I pulled out, it's got a good amount of bee bread on it, a little bit of capped honey, but mostly bee bread. And I'm like, this looks really good. And there were a couple of cells on there, but not too much, a little brood, just like a little speck of it. And I was like, that's fine. So I keep going. I'm going to look a little bit deeper and see what I can find. And then I get to this frame, and this is kind of, at this point, what I was looking for, because I thought maybe they don't have a queen. But guess what? If you look on the bottom there, there is a queen cell on the front of that. I'm just going to raise it up for a minute. You're going to have to look quick. But there is a queen cell on there. I'm looking at it, and I was showing my sister, and I forgot all about the camera. So I'm like, okay, I've seen what I want to see. There's honey in here. There's a little bit of brood. And there's a queen cell. So that means they are working on making another queen, which makes sense why they left. So I'm going to close this box back up, and I'm going to go take care of that hive that I need to capture. But first, I need to get a new box because I don't have any boxes to put the hive in. So I go inside the house, and my wife's like, I can have one here by tomorrow. And I'm like, that's fantastic. Let's see if we can do that, because if they still sticking around after tomorrow, I'll be able to catch that third hive. So I put this box back together, and I go inside, we order that hive, and then it's just a waiting game. I've got to make sure I can get that box together before that hive takes off. And I made it all the way through the first day, and the next day it said it was going to be delivered around 5 o'clock. And I'm like, man, well, I guess if they stay till 5, it'll start getting dark and they won't leave. So I waited, and it was a little bit after 5, and there my dog started barking, and I open up, and there's a box on my steps, and I'm like, this is great. I'm going to put this thing together. So I get it out, and I'm just frantically like, I've got to put this thing together really quick, right? I'm going to put some frames together, and I put it together, and I go outside, and I missed them by about an hour. They were gone. I had checked him at 4. When I went out after building this, about 5:30, they were gone. But this is the crazy part. A few days later, a hive, they show up swarmed in my yard again. And I'm like, did they swarm again? And I'm like, no, they're there. So that's crazy. And then I was like, well, let me check the other box. And they were there. So this hive, I don't know where they came from. Did they leave and then come back a few days later just to be in my yard again? Or is this a totally different beehive from someplace else? I don't have a clue, but I'm going to catch them because I've got the box now. So I use my cardboard box trick. This is the same tree that the first hive swarmed in. Is that crazy? And I have the box underneath there. I'm going to put the top right on it this time, which last time, if you watched, I didn't. I let them sit for a little while. But this time I'm like, I'm putting that box on. I want to make sure that queen's in there. And I'm going to put the top on. And I'm pretty sure I got them all in there. This was not as big a swarm as the last time. Now, if you saw the previous videos, there were actually 2 clumps of swarms in the tree. And I had to get them both. This was just one clump. But I started watching, and all the bees are outside, started going inside. And I'm like, this looks great. So I'm going to set this up for them, just like I did the second hive. So I'm going back to the first hive. Why? Because I want to get another frame of honey. I'm never going to have any honey this year because I keep giving it all away to the bees. I have to do a much better job of swarm control next year. Definitely lesson learned. And it snuck up on me because I'm in South Florida now, and I just did not expect it to happen as early as it did. So I go in there and I find that frame with the bee bread on it and a couple of bees and a little bit of brood, but I'm okay, that's fine. I'm going to give them this, and this is going to keep them happy. So I have the new frames, the empty frames from the new box I just bought. So I put one of those in to replace it. I'm going to shut this first hive up. This is Queen Victoria, by the way. She's going to be the new queen. Queen Charlotte was the original that I caught the first time, and our new queen is going to be Queen Isabella. So hopefully Queen Isabella is going to be happy with this frame of honey, and her people her people are going to stick around and not go anywhere else. So I opened up that box, and this is like 2 days later, and I put in the frame of honey, and I'd only put about 4 frames in there, which had some propolis on it from a previous hive, and I was hoping that would help them. And then I decided I'm going to fill it up now that I got these new frames that we just built. So I fill it up with the frames, and then I'm just going to smoke it a little bit and calm it down, put the top on, and I'm going to set it up. Now I'm going to set it up about just if you look to the left where the stones are, I'm going to set it up right there, just a couple of feet away. I get some cinder blocks from Lowe's, I have some 2x4s, and I'm just going to lay this on top of it, and hopefully everyone's going to be happy. So here we go. Here comes the move, the whole thing, 1 box. And if you watch right after I back up here a little bit, they seem very happy. They seem to be flying around and coming in and out, and that was good. And I thought, well, there you go, see them all. And I thought the last thing I'm going to do is I always put a stick in front of it, right, to help their orientation. So now I've got 3 hives, and we'll see what the homestead we can do with our 3 hives from here on out, so we can get to the point where we're actually making some honey and not catching swarms.